So we all loved his character Jay in Modern Family, Ed O'Neill, but I'm not so sure we're going to love this character in the new show, Clipped, alongside his fabulous co-star Cleopatra Coleman. So thank you both for joining me, and tell us what Clipped is about.
Well, it's the scandal that came out about 10 years ago. The tape surfaced from Donald Sterling and his gal Friday, Viv. And then also the struggle when it got out of Doc Rivers, who was the first-year coach, trying to take them to the playoffs and get going for the chip, and the effect it had on the whole team and the players and everybody concerned.
And obviously Clipped has kind of a multiple meaning name to it. It's obviously the Los Angeles Clippers, but it's about this infamous clip that obviously went viral before things really went. It was before TikTok, before all this. Cleopatra, what's it like to play this strong, powerful woman who is just kind of enthralled into this?
Oh, it was absolutely thrilling to play V. She's someone that, took up as much space as she needed in a room. There was a line that Gina wrote in the script when she first enters the show, that V is someone with this larger-than-life charisma that everyone ignores. And that was just such a interesting way to describe the character. And so it just gave me so much to play with. It was really fun.
Yeah. And Ed, your character, you have a lot of scenes with Cleopatra, but you also have a lot of scenes with Jacki Weaver, who is just this great, great actress. What was it like building those scenes with her?
With Jacki? Oh,
yes.
Yeah. Well, it was, I mean, I think she's the Meryl Streep of Australia.
She is.
And so, of course, and I've seen a few of her movies prior to. And then along with the dialogue, when you have great writing like that, for actors, it's so almost relaxing to do it and so enjoyable. And then when you have, people like this involved, and Jacki and Laurence and everybody else, so many good people, it's a joy.
Yeah. And obviously in Indianapolis, I'm a huge Pacers fan. I grew up going to games, but I'm almost, after watching this show, kind of now rooting for the Clippers, learning about all of this. Is that how you felt, Cleopatra, after doing this show?
Yeah, I mean, it was enlightening to sort of like zoom in on really what it felt like for them behind the scenes, and this idea that, they just wanted to play basketball, but now it's a political statement, and like the struggle and all the history. And yeah, it's quite a poignant commentary on all that. And it does make me root for the Clippers. Yeah.
I'm going to jump in a second and it was, for me, the guys that played the players, they were so good.
Yeah.
I was so blown away by how good they were that it was thrilling. And even their locker room and their on the bus conversations. Mm-hmm. I had played football as a young guy, and there's a certain camaraderie that you have no matter what the sport is. Mm-hmm. And it kind of brought that back to me. It was so like, wow, I kind of missed that in a way. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
So that was nice.
Yeah, they were really good.
They were really good.
You took my next question right out of me. It's Blake Griffin, JJ Redick, Chris Paul, all these legends of the game. They're portrayed in this show. What was it like working with all of them as well?
I'm sorry, with who? With those guys?
Yeah, with the guys, the actors.
Oh, it was great. And, it was also funny too, because as people are real people, I wasn't worried about it, but I thought maybe they would not like me, because of who I was portraying, but they didn't. They got such a kick out of it, and then of course they jumped right back in and played their characters beautifully, and that was so fun for me because in between takes it wasn't like a method thing.
Yeah.
We were having a lot of fun, and they had a sense of humor about it, and they helped me. In other words, they really helped me not feel insecure about saying some of the things and acting the way I was.
Yeah, and another legend, I think you mentioned it previously, Lawrence Fishburne, who is uncanny as Doc Rivers. They have very similar physical features as well. What was it like working with him as your characters are kind of neck and neck the whole time?
Well, Laurence is a great actor. Mm-hmm. And, it's like playing tennis with a great player. It tends to lift your game as well.
Yeah. And Cleopatra, I'll direct my last question at you. Clipped, it comes out June 4th on Hulu, FX on Hulu. What do people need to know? What do people need to get ready for these 6 episodes of this season?
Get ready for a wild ride.
Yeah.
It's very entertaining and poignant, and it's great commentary, but it's also just a great show. You don't need to be into sport to enjoy it.
You're absolutely right.
They just need to know what time it's on and watch it.
June 4th.
Yes, June 4th on Hulu. Make sure you're watching Clipped. Ed O'Neill, Cleopatra Coleman, thank you both so much.
Thank you, Trevor.
Thanks. So what I love most is this show. It's obviously called Clipped, but it's about the Los Angeles Clippers. It's also about this viral clip, so it has a double meaning in its name. I'm talking with the creators behind the show, Gina Welch, Rembert Brown, and Kevin Bray. So Gina, as the showrunner, I'll let you tell us what Clipped is about.
So really, I think for me, this was a story, sort of emotionally rooted in the experience of Doc Rivers coming to coach this historically losing franchise that had its first best chance of winning a championship, which put it on a collision course with this, bizarre love triangle that produced a tape of the owner saying racist things about, the team and his worldview. So for me, it was about looking at the costs of living and working and trying to thrive under the ownership of, a racist, incompetent buffoon.
Yeah. And Kevin, as the director, I'll let you answer this next one. Obviously, we have some really heavy hitters in this show. Ed O'Neill from Modern Family, Lawrence Fishburne, who is looks physically like Doc Rivers himself, Jacki Weaver, Cleopatra Coleman. What's it like getting to direct all these people?
The better they are, the easier it is. I mean, that really is a truism, absolute truism. I'm discovering things, and you kind of have to let them do their thing. And when you have people who are that good, when you have actors that are that good, they're really fun to play with. When you have suggestions or directorial ideas you want to go, there's no ego when we get on the floor and we start working. So it was a magical experience. My experience with Lawrence Fishburne, I had a relationship with him from Blackish, and we have some other projects that we had talked about over the years. So that was very comforting to come in and have, that person and that character as a kind of on-set executive producer to be my partner as we were working through this story. I mean, he was more than just an actor on the show, not just, but he was more than the character he played in many regards. I think Gina would speak to that as well, and Rembert. And it was a lot of reciprocity in the process of doing the show. Yeah,
we love to hear that about those people. And Rembert, I'll take this next one to you. We also have these kind of lesser known people who play these absolute NBA legends. We have Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, JJ Redick. What did you get advice from these NBA legends before having these actors portray them on the screen? What was that like, getting to show them in their respect?
Well, we, for one, we had one of the actual players, Matt Barnes, who came and was a consultant and talked with us, because, you want to know, you can do all the research in the world, but you kind of want to know that stuff like the locker room dynamics and the relationships between players and coaches, all that. So having that available was quite awesome. And then, over the process of shooting, like one thing I went to was our basketball rehearsals. And watching, these are guys who know how to play basketball, but watching them like both be the character, like move like the actual NBA characters, and then also still acting and delivering and kind of transforming into an actual basketball team. Like watching them celebrate at the end of a play, I was like, oh, this is very cool. Like they're really out here like the acting Los Angeles Clippers. And so I think just the process of, they could easily learn everything about, these guys, but watching each actor like watching Alphonse become Chris Paul, but it's, this Alphonse version of Chris Paul. It was very cool to watch each one really become people who we are familiar with, which is hard. It's very difficult.
Obviously, he is very unliked in this kind of show, but his character kind of has this thing that he doesn't think he did a bad thing, as we learn over the 6 episodes with him. How do you convince Ed to be this very disliked person when he is not that at all?
Well, Ed is an extraordinary actor and he is game, and as long as we gave him work and scenes that felt like we're really trying to understand how Donald Sterling is entering a scene with his point of view as a person in the world who very seldom gets told no. He was game to play the scenes as they were written. And I think, he played it without judgment for the man, which is why the character feels so real, and so human.
Yeah, very human. These actors are incredible. The show is so enjoyable. People are going to talk about it all summer. Make sure you watch Clipped on Hulu. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Nice to meet
Thank you.